The Chicago Blackhawks were eliminated from the playoffs on Thursday last week, and it really wasn't a surprise. But one thing that I think was a surprise is that the on ice product didn't get better around Connor Bedard, and there's still a lot of work to do before this team is a full blown contender. So far this season, the Chicago Blackhawks have a record of 21, 41, and 9 for 51 points. They are 31st in the NHL. They have a .359 points percentage. They have scored 193 goals, have led in 254, which makes up for a minus 61 difference. They are 14, 17, and 4 at home, and 7, 24, and 5 on the road. So overall, it was a rough season for the Chicago Blackhawks. We expected it to go that way. I don't think anybody's surprised in the slightest that they didn't have a good year. I think we knew what was coming, and as a result, there you go. So, yeah, but I will say this. We thought the on-ice product was going to get better. We thought that we were going to see better play from, ads like Teravainen and Bertuzzi and a few other guys on the roster. Again, they weren't big ads. They weren't young players. They aren't guys that are going to make, huge immediate impacts right away. But we did believe that the team was going to get better. We thought that they were going to get better on-ice product. Maybe not standings-wise, but they would at least be a little bit more entertaining. Hasn't really been the case. To be honest with you, with Chicago. Now, Connor Bedard has been a very interesting player and has been very entertaining, has always been. Now he's almost done 2 years of his career, which just feels weird. I don't know how we're already here. So far this season, Bedard's played 71 games, has 20 goals, 36 assists for 56 points this season. Obviously, there is about 9 games left in the season. I think Bedard, more likely than not, likely reaches around 65, maybe even gets to 70 points by the end of the year. He leads the team in points, obviously. But overall, I think that it's been a solid year from Connor Bedard. I definitely think you want to see more from him, I guess. But I mean, I don't really put the blame on him. I know there was a lot of criticism around Bedard this entire year, saying, oh, he's not generational, this and that. And that's an argument that we can have down the road. I don't really think you can have it right now with the way that this team is playing. I don't think there's a lot of people who don't like Bedard just because of the hype around him in the prior years before, but he still is the real deal. I think that you put alongside a better team next to him, I think that he can make a difference and that team can do something. He just can't carry them by himself. And even Connor McDavid couldn't do that. So, to be honest with you, I don't really put the blame on Bedard for this year. I don't even know why people are. I put the blame on management and how this overall team is built. Now, second in scoring is Teuvo Teravainen, 71 games played, 15 goals, 40 assists, which is first on the team for 55 points. Teravainen just right behind Bedard has been a good ad. I think he's been a solid ad, racking up assists. I think that he's been being a very good passer, playing with Bedard alongside a couple other players there as well throughout the year. I definitely think that Teravainen has been one of the positives, but yeah, definitely something you need to improve on there too. Ryan Donato, 69 games played, 25 goals, which is first on the team, 28 assists for 53 points. I definitely think that Donato had a really good, kind of like a breakout year this year with Chicago. I thought he was going to get traded, but turns out the Chicago Blackhawks want to extend him and keep him around. Maybe Bedard had a say in that in some way. I really don't know, to be honest with you. But yeah, Donato's been a huge positive for the Blackhawks this season, leading the team in goals, and I think overall he's been an entertaining product to watch on that Chicago team. Again, I probably would have traded him, but that's just me saying that, not knowing what the offers were, not knowing anything else about it. But if I'm looking at it purely from an outside perspective, I probably would have traded Ryan Donato. At least my opinion. Tyler Bertuzzi, 71 games played, 19 goals, 21 assists, 40 points. Bertuzzi hasn't been bad this season, has been okay. I don't think he's been anything overly special. He has paid a little bit more than some of these other players. But overall, Bertuzzi, nothing really shocking there of any imagination. He's just been a solid, on a regular basis, he is like a depth piece. But in this case, he is playing more minutes for the Blackhawks than he would be otherwise. Ilya Mikheyev, 69 games played, 16 goals, 12 assists, 28 points. Mikheyev, not a bad ad. He's being paid a good amount of money, but I definitely think that he was mainly put there as a contract dump. He has struggled in Chicago this year, but 16 goals, not terrible, honestly. But yeah, overall, just kind of what you expected. Nick Foligno, 67 games played, 12 goals, 16 assists for 28 points as well. Foligno, not bad. I mean, he's on the tail end of his career. He's not going to rack up points for you. He's there for the mentoring and the leadership on this team. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think like the biggest issue with Chicago for a long time there was the youth, and especially as we see this team keep growing and developing, especially throughout this season, you have really no young players to surround Bedard with that like has him hopeful for the future. Now you got guys like Frank Nazar, sure he's not on his line. Lucas Reichel, maybe Kurashev, maybe. Vlasic on the back end, Korchinski, sure. Levchinov, sure. You have the young pieces, but you don't have anybody alongside Bedard, and I think that's really what is standing out this year for Chicago. Like, you look at San Jose, for example. We talked about them last week. They got Celebrini, who's like the cornerstone. He's the guy that you're building this around, surrounded by like guys like William Eklund and Will Smith and guys that he can play alongside with who are there for the longer term future. And just overall for like Bedard, like there really isn't any of that there. Like his line mates are what, like Bertuzzi? Like I mean, like it's not ideal. It's not a a lineup for the future. Like that's not terrible, but is Bertuzzi going to be there when this team's contending in 6 or 7 years, 5 or 6 years? Don't think so. So yeah, it's just something that you got to look at there with the Blackhawks and the fact that they don't have like a young guy like that, and that's why this year's draft is a very pivotal draft for them because they need to definitely get in there and go get like a top name forward. Honestly, like a guy like Michael Misa, if you get him there at that pick, surround him with Bedard. That could be not only nasty, that could be huge for Chicago as well. Now, some other young players who are on this team who have played this year. Alex Vlasic, 71 games played, 4 goals, 24 assists, 28 points. Vlasic has been a positive. I like Vlasic a lot. He's locked up to a long-term deal there in Chicago. He is a part of that future. Has been a very good minded IQ level defenseman. I think he's been very good on Chicago, and I like Vlasic a lot there. With the Blackhawks as probably one of their top defensemen moving forward. And then Lucas Reichel, 62 games played, 7 goals, 14 assists for 21 points as well. Reichel hasn't been terrible, but he's not really that young anymore. Probably not going to be here when this team goes into that full-blown contention. So, yeah, I definitely want to just say that right here, right now. He's probably not going to be here in the future. As for the goaltenders, the goalies, with Peter Mrazek being traded to Detroit, it definitely removes the goaltender with the most games played. But Arvid Soderblom is second. 8-17-7, a 3.17 goals against average, and a .899 save percentage. Soderblom has been good. Again, I think he's been somebody who has been a major positive for Chicago. Honestly, like he's struggled in years before, but just the fact that he has just a below a .900 save percentage just shows like how much he's improved as a goaltender. And like, I mean, again, like it's hard to get a .900 in this day and age in the NHL. Like scoring is up, scoring is crazy, especially on a bottom feeding team. To be just .01 below, it's kind of impressive, to be honest with you. And then Spencer Knight, who the guy they acquired midway through this year with the Seth Jones trade, which, by the way, turned out to be a really good trade for Chicago. 15-12-1, a 2.55 and a .906. Knight has been a good positive, has actually had some pretty good games with Chicago, and I think Bedard going on and seeing that Knight is now a part of the Blackhawks' future, got to make him very happy. And again, going back to that Seth Jones trade, it looks like right now Chicago is the winner of that deal because Jones in Florida has not been the greatest. I think he definitely could have been a little bit better. I just haven't seen what I've wanted to see from Jones enough to the point where I'm like, yeah, that is a guy who you can consistently trust night in, night out. So again, it was a good move for Chicago. I feel like I wish they could have done more at the deadline, but they obviously couldn't. But now they are eliminated from playoff contention. And now you get into another offseason where it's all about building around Connor Bedard. Go out, draft Michael Misa in the in the draft. If they get Misa or a Martone, I think that bodes very well for them. Like, to be honest, I think you need a guy who can be alongside Bedard. Maybe not another center because you do have, like, Bedard is your 1C. I would imagine when he's in his prime, Nazer's going to be that 2C. And then you obviously get guys like Oliver Moore and things like that, Soccer Boys Vert, and a few other guys who are coming up through the ranks as well. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on the Chicago Blackhawks. Again, it's just all about building around Connor Bedard at this rate. You just want to get the young pieces and look forward to the draft. Maybe sign some guys in free agency. Maybe go out and make an offer sheet. Maybe go out and do something like that. Again, I'm not ruling out any possibility there of a possible big free agency splash. That could also happen there too, but I don't really want to talk about that until we do our season reviews and look forward into the offseason some more. But anyways, let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, click the video down below. And please do consider subscribing to join the community that we are building here. But anyways, that is it for me. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.